Did you know that not all dietary supplements are created equal? That's right, they're all not the same. For example, some companies use whole food extracts. That means they concentrate the food down and they supply the nutrient out of that food as a supplement. Versus companies that synthesize or make the nutrients in a lab like a pharmaceutical drug would be made. Standard Process is a company that makes whole food supplements, and if you look at one of their food bars, one of their protein meal supplement bars, and you look at the ingredients, it's going to have things like protein in there, egg whites, almond butter, brown rice syrup, things that you understand when you read the label. Versus if you look at a bar that uses synthetic nutrients, well, you're going to see a lot of chemical names. Yes, they may have some protein in there and other things, but you're going to see a lot of chemicals. That's really the difference. A whole food supplement uses just that. Whole foods, concentrates the nutrients down and provides it that way to create a response on your body. I'm Dr. DeFabio, and that's your tip for today on dietary supplements. They're all not created equal. Welcome back to the show. General Halstead, chiropractic was a benefit for you ultimately, correct?
Yes, it was. And when I would go home to visit about once a year, my parents could start to see that I was really beginning to hurt quite badly. And my dad said, "Why don't you go down and see my chiropractor?" He says, "I think you'll feel better." So I went down to visit him, and he's right. I mean, I went in, he adjusted me. I'd never been adjusted before, and it was amazing how much better I felt. And I've always said that of all the doctors you go visit, you will feel better when you come out of seeing a doctor of chiropractic, and you can't say that about most of the other doctors. But so anyhow, but a frequent visit, once or twice a year really wasn't enough. But it was enough for me to know that I think this is something that I need to strongly consider. But the military doesn't have chiropractors in our clinics. We move a lot. I moved 18 times in 27 years. So trying to find a doctor and all that, candidly, was just kind of too hard.
Wasn't happening.
No. Plus I deployed. Now when I deployed, I love to tell people that I miss my family, my friends, and my chiropractor because I went often enough to know that relief was just crucial, even if it was only once a quarter or whatever. So I came back from Iraq during my mid-tour leave, and I was at West Point. I was giving a speech there, and one of my classmates, her sister is a doctor of chiropractic. My mother started to talk to her about my chronic pain syndromes, and she says, "Oh, she does not have to live in chronic pain." So she saw me in the hallway, put her finger in my chest, and said, "You don't have to live in chronic pain." And I said, "Well, okay, but I'm headed back to Iraq. So I tell you what, I'll call you when I return to the States." So I came back to the States, and over that 2-year period, we started to develop a friendship. I was in Maryland, she was in New Jersey, New York area. So when I finally retired, she said, "Let me help you." And then we went to town, and I'm off all prescribed drugs. I've had acupuncture, massage therapy, supplements, whole food supplements. I'm a huge advocate of the Standard Process. I did the purification, and I really changed my eating habits, and I now take supplements for things I can't eat because of surgeries and things like that. So, orthotics. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, the Army moves on its feet. The weight of we move the Army on the backs of our soldiers. You would just think that chiropractic and orthotics would be common sense, but it's not. So,
well, orthotics are shoe inserts.
Yes.
For people that don't understand it. But also, it's all about keeping your body ready. Isn't that what the bottom line is in the service and as well as with chiropractic?
Right. Well, in the military, we wear all this heavy gear for good reason. It protects us. We don't want to not wear it because it protects us. But at the same time, it's kind of become the new enemy, because the weight of it is really causing a lot of musculoskeletal, back problems, shoulder problems, lower back problems. And so we're actually having soldiers be taken out of combat because of those problems. And if we had chiropractors in the mix, they could help put them back into the fight. And so yeah, it's a challenge.
Well, I know that's one of the challenges we're working on legislatively, nationally, is to get the appropriations for doctors of chiropractic to service the active and retired servicemen.
Yes, we have right now chiropractors in about 25% of all our VA facilities and about 25% of our active duty facilities. the challenge is where there isn't a doctor of chiropractic, there is no insurance to cover us when we go off post to get the care. And then so we're really trying to move those issues also legislatively so that, you know, we can get that benefit.
Now, you're a spokesman for the Foundation for Chiropractic Progress, correct?
Yes, I am. And the foundation is it's a wonderful nonprofit foundation whose sole mission is positive press for chiropractic, really educating and inspiring people, informing people what chiropractic care is and how it can make a difference in the quality of your life. You know, my sister works at the airport. She's in charge of the cleaning team there, and they carry all kinds of heavy equipment. You know, and I'm like, you need to go to a chiropractor because you're, you know, so any walk of life, we see that people need to have their functionality restored so they can live a long and, you know, comfortable life. And it's not that costly, and it's
saves you money.
It does save you. It saves you money in the long run, and it saves you, you know, you're not going to have time off of work because you'll, you know, so you're more productive. And I think, you know, employers ought to understand this. And if I were a big organization out there, I'd be having a chiropractic in my company so that I could have my employees seeing a chiropractor, and I'd have less lost time, I'd have less insurance problems. That'd be great.
Well, it's my understanding that if someone takes 12 to 17 visits a year for wellness preventative care, that they'll have 43% less visits to the medical doctor annually and 20% less medical expenses. So those are pretty heavy stats.
They are, and I had not heard those statistics, but they're very believable to me because I would say I average going to a chiropractor every 3 to 4 weeks. So that's, you know, it's like taking care of your vehicle, right? I mean, you know, you don't wait for the vehicle to, you know, fail you on the highway. You know, you change the oil, you know, you rotate the tires. I mean, we're talking about preventative care. And if you take preventative care, you know, you're not going to break down. And like I said, it's going to be less costly.
Well, it makes a lot of sense to me.
It does.
And I really appreciate you getting the word out. Was it tough for you to get over that hurdle initially to go to a doctor of chiropractic?
To get over the hurdle? No.
No,
My dad said, I think you'd feel better. I went, he was right. You know?
Hey, listen to your father. We like that. We like that.
You know, I think, you know, there are some people who go, oh, you know, they crack your back, or they don't like, they're a little nervous about the sound or whatever. And I would urge people to not be concerned about that at all, because that will quickly be overcome by how good you feel. I mean, I'm 5'1.5", and I walk out feeling 6 foot tall.